speak.
Okay. Good evening and welcome to the Petaluma Community Access Board of Directors meeting for Tuesday, August 18th, 2015. Would the secretary please call the roll?
Cindy Thomas.
Here.
Kathy Rivas. Here. Neil Fishman.
Here.
Marcia Trent, I'm here. Rachel Moran. Mark Jaramillo.
Check.
Tim Williamson. John.
Here.
Okay.
Okay, we have a quorum. And seeing nobody's here for public comment, we will skip on to Board of Directors comments and announcements. Are there any? Okay. I guess we can skip that and go to agenda approval. Did everybody look at the agenda? Am I sharing with all of you here?
Move it.
I think we had a change.
Oh.
On the director's comment, it said something about AV maintenance. I think it was supposed to be HVAC maintenance.
That's minutes. You're thinking minutes.
Okay.
We're doing agenda.
I'm fast.
You are. You're way ahead of us.
Okay, I
just left
think
something in my
everything's
office.
good.
I'll be right back.
Is there a motion
Move
to,
it.
Second.
any discussion? Anyone opposed? Okay. Treasurer's report. Mr. Treasurer.
I will wait for John to get back. Numbers look good. Things are solid. Taking in more than we're spending. Let's get more.
That covers
I
it.
think we're going to drill down during the budget agenda item. John, we were hitting on the treasurer's report, and do we want to wait and drill down on that in the?
No, I've got a
budget?
few.
You got a few things?
Side
Okay.
information on
Okay.
that. But did you approve the minutes yet? Because I heard
No,
there
we
was
didn't.
Because there was one other thing you left.
Oh wait, that's right. I skipped that, didn't I?
Yeah.
I take back everything.
Do we want to
I
approve
said.
the minutes of the July 19
There are a couple
Meeting?
of changes.
There are two amendments.
You go ahead.
changes to the
Changes.
minutes?
Well, Marcia left a blank for something she probably couldn't hear. Second line, a dozen sold. And
Yeah.
it's butter and egg steak parade. That
A
was the
dozen.
And
Okay.
then Tim had a comment about City Hall AV and cable maintenance contract was changed. You could specify that
It's HVAC
yeah,
maintenance.
it's HVAC.
Okay.
That's all.
I'll move as commented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed or abstaining? Is everybody here? Okay. Minutes are approved. Treasurer's report.
Okay, did want to say that we got the AT&T peg fees yesterday, and they jumped $1,000.
Jumped 1,000?
Yeah, from 13 to 14,000.
Yay.
Great.
That is
That's
good.
per month.
That's very good.
Quarter.
Yeah,
A quarter?
quarter, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So this is the quarter that ended in June.
So, John, the numbers look like we're like $4,000 or $5,000 sort of good this last quarter.
Yeah. I always budget
Yeah.
low, really tight on
Yeah.
that, so that I'm not surprised by anything, because it's easier to spend extra money than you thought you had.
It's looking good.
But that's growing. They have 6 weeks legally to return the peg fees to the city, and they're past that, or I guess this was be the start of the 7th week. So what I'm thinking is Comcast is in City Hall and it hasn't turned around and sent out to us yet. But I've had to call the last few times. I didn't call for AT&T, but I was watching closely, so I did a little dance when I check. And then I had kind of a general question I'd like some feedback on. Everybody knows the double signing check dance we do. A lot of these places now offer an online payment with credit card. Is that something the board feels comfortable with? I like having the backstopping and the slowness of the process because it makes everything really rock solid. But Credo, I could set up for a credit card.
How much does it save us?
You know, it doesn't save us anything except a stamp and the effort. It might save us money with Adds Up, but
Just makes it easier to
Can
do
we
it.
not bank online?
We could bank on that. My personal feeling is, they say it's green, but it's really they're cutting costs and they're firing people. So I like using the post office, and I like the whole process, but just thought I'd run it by if you had any objections to it.
Although
On
banking
principle.
online wouldn't be able to provide, the dual signatures. I mean, if that's
No.
one of the reasons for the paper.
The dual signatures was built into the bylaws. And the bank is right across from the post office, so, you know, I could go in and say, hi, keep tabs.
Well, we would have to get a vote of the membership to change the bylaws.
Yeah, we're not changing the bylaws, but I'm just asking this.
Yeah.
We have, it's Credo, I guess, they're the ones that are really pushing it, and they're tricky.
Well, how do they do it when there's a required two signature?
That's why I'm bringing it up. It doesn't get the required two signature process.
So then there's no option
Okay,
for us,
then there's no
because
option.
if it's
That's
in
what
the
I wanted.
bylaws, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Is there a dollar limit in the bylaws for signatures?
I'd have to review it.
Pretty backwards.
This
Yes,
may-
it's not in the bylaws, it's,
There is a
It's
somewhere.
somewhere.
I can't spend money over like 3,000 without board approval.
Right.
You can,
Something
okay.
that's big.
Up to
But
3,000.
we're talking about Credo is like a $43 a month, $48 a month bill, and if you're late one day, they charge you $7.
Oh,
Yeah, so they're,
25%.
yeah, no, they do not hurt themselves. So that would be the one I would think of, but, you know, I paid it once and.
And put an automatic billing.
yeah, and you know something, I think we'd have to get an attorney to check California corporate law also, because we're a nonprofit. There is a certain way for spending money.
Yeah,
Um,
let's not go there. I just was testing the waters, and I got what I needed.
Yeah. Plus, you know, we want more work for you and Nellie. It's
Yeah.
employment security.
It's hot.
And for Brooke.
I like to go out to the marina.
Okay.
That's all I have for that. Oh, there is one more thing. There is a correction, two more things, actually. I got a corrected profit and loss sheet. We will update our records here. There was a misunderstanding with Brooke. The money we paid for, we have an advertisement in the Chamber of Commerce, welcome to Petaluma, filler for the Argus, and she put it in advertising for employees. So that's been corrected. And we have an advertising line, we just never used it, so she didn't know it. So 613 advertising for employees is $500. It's actually $75 for employees, and $425 went into the advertising line, which is 612.
Okay, so we don't have 612 on the
Yeah.
first sheet.
I can pass this around if you want to see it. It's just a. Got it, just that's the corrected one.
What's 612? Oh, here.
It's advertising, which we may start
Advertising
using
employee,
more
okay.
now.
What's the
We have-
difference between advertising employee and advertising?
When I post for a job opening,
Oh, okay.
it's Craigslist.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Got it.
And
Anything
then
else?
we don't have the budget performance because we haven't submitted a budget yet, so she has no numbers to compare. But she'll prepare one as soon as she gets those numbers. She'll prepare one for July.
Okay.
Okay.
do you want this back?
Yes, I do want that.
Anybody have questions
That's my master.
pertaining to this report? Okay, if not, I guess we're done with that. Thank you, Neil and John. And now, John, you can continue with your ED report.
Okay, lots of little items there. We hired Stephanie Glenn, who had worked here before, was gone for like 4 years, and she's doing great. Very happy to have her back. It was easy to get her up to speed on how we function. She already knew that. She has some learning curve with the actual camera work, but her work on the internet and the city hall and all those connections has been really exemplary. She's very fast and diligent. We also brought on 2 more access assistants. Both of them are in Petaluma, because we've done a week on Petaluma. We've got 8 access assistants now, but there are two of them that don't really work. Probably in November, if they haven't worked between now and November, they'll be removed. Because I would like to get it down to 6. But you have Roner Park, Katati, and now Petaluma is really strong. In fact, one of them is training at the school board right now. So, one of them had actually volunteered and helped us with the butter and egg steak, Kenny Montante, and the other was an application. They were both applicants for the position we gave to Stephanie. So I got back in touch with them.
Are Katati and Roner Park up and running?
Yes.
Both of them.
Yeah, we've done 2 meetings at Katati. Roner Park, we started in February, late January.
What is the position that Stephanie has? What's it called?
She's operations manager. She took Will's place.
Okay.
And that was a position that was created, it may have existed before, but it was repurposed when Zach was station manager, and we didn't really have somebody we could get for that because staff was doing so much. So Zach took over the technical specialist position and the operations manager. Runs the staff meetings, keeps the equipment up to speed, and a number of other things, works with interns. So we had some great press last 2 weeks. Have you been following the artists? On, when was it? Where's the date? August 13th, that week, there was a feature story on Nick, our young access assistant. He finished a film, 20-minute film. He got a picture and the whole story, and he had 2 paragraphs talking about how a friend told him to go down and check out PCA. He came down there, checked out the equipment. It's working. It's learned all that from us. There's also a guy doing Shakespeare in the Park, and he had a nice shout out to us. So we had 2 feature stories. They weren't about us, but we were factored in both. And then last week, Chris wrote a letter to the editor thanking them for such great reporting and saluting our 2 friends. So we had good press the last 2 weeks. The audit is en route. A lot of it is done now between Adds Up, QuickBooks, and Torkelson. This is the full audit. The budget is much higher. It's our 5th year. And city meeting coverage, question, yes, we started Katati. They're still working out on, what do you call them, shakedown crews. They're not really broadcasting yet. They'll be burning a DVD that they will take care of with Roner Park, because they're going to broadcast on the Roner Park cable access. And with both Roner Park and Katati, we are not responsible for their equipment. They bought it, they take care of it. If there's any errors, we flag them for them. So what we're doing now is we've got Stephanie learning all 3 booths and consolidating the white papers, the instruction manual, kind of what to do with each, and training our new access assistants. The radio project is back in action. We had filling the position that Stephanie got was really productive. We got 2 access assistants out of it. We got Stephanie, and the other person we interviewed, Rob Tamazewski, I can't remember his name.
Let's say his name.
He's my age and has a lot of experience with nonprofits and radio. He wasn't the right one for this position, didn't have any real camera experience. But I brought him on as a consultant to work with me on the radio, and he and Zach and I went over and we met with Matt, and we did another tour of the campus this last week. And we have some constraints with the antenna, and we have some hoops to hop through to get that antenna up. We have an accord with the school. Now it has to go through official approval as to where we put it. They're very sensitive about the aesthetic of the campus.
Was it Matt Pearson that you met
Matt
with?
Pearson, yeah.
Oh, good. Is he in our corner?
Oh,
Is he
yeah, he's
really?
absolutely. He's very sharp. And
Pushing for getting a curriculum involved.
well, he's not the one for the curriculum.
He was pushing it though.
Yeah, but to finish with what we did with Rob, we have to prepare an MOU that we present to the school, and Rob is going to take the point on developing that MOU, find some samples. And then what we do is we submit it to the campus engineering department. Once they vet it, it goes to the dean, and then it goes up to the board. So it'll eventually come to the board of the San Jose JC to approve. The trick, I think, is going to be the curriculum. The curriculum is going to depend on a teacher, Mike Traina in particular, and Zach is working now on setting up a first meeting with Mike. Because that will make the proposition, the MOU, so much more attractive. There's something they get out of it too. They're not just off taking an outside business proposition. We want them to be proud of the antenna that sticks on the board. So we're on those steps to get to the MOU. We're working with Clay also. Clay is the consultant from San Francisco. Can't think of he's with a nonprofit that supports low-powered radio, and he's working on the FCC angle to remove the mutually exclusive clause in our license. Right now we have the same bandwidth, 103.3, with Petaluma, Sonoma, and Napa, and the FCC just looks at a map and says, you three have to figure out how you're going to share the week. We did that, so we got that covered. But Clay immediately said, well, there's no problem when Napa's broadcasting, you're far enough away. It's Sonoma that was the missing link. So first we started looking for different places we could put the Petaluma antenna that would reduce it or remove it. And now Clay is working with Sonoma. If they can move their antenna, we could go 24/7. So a lot of balls in the air, but it's moving back on track.
Was it expensive to move the antenna?
No, before they put
No,
it up.
before you put it in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Where
that Sonoma hasn't put theirs up yet?
No, they haven't.
Okay.
Everybody's working for their 18-month, and I haven't really touched base with Napa, but Clay is in touch with Sonoma.
You'd almost think that it would be better for Sonoma to move it up the valley. They'd get a wider thing, and then the mountain would block it towards Petaluma.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tricky because you've got the engineer, a professional engineer, has to get in and assure it for the FCC. But it's back on track. I'm going to be pushing for a broadcast in February, but it's not a slam dunk, especially when we get into the San Jose JC board meets once a month.
Maybe Neil could charm the representative on the board for Petaluma.
Who is that?
I think I can. Yeah, I could get her.
No, it would be nice to get her, well informed about.
I mentioned
things.
that. Matt said, you know somebody on the board, and I said, yeah, but we don't want to go over the dean yet. We want to go to the board before the dean has.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, it would have to be an.
But yeah, once it gets to the board.
An off-the-record conversation, not anything.
But once it gets to that stage.
My guess is that the people in that board have all sorts of conflict of interest that they need to deal with.
Yeah.
And I probably can't help.
Yeah.
Okay, enough of the radio, but I will be talking about that a lot. It's on, what do you call it, hyperdrive. The chamber mixer. I think we need a date. Once we get a date, we figure out where we get the donated liquor and wine. And,
Did they offer us some openings?
They didn't offer. I haven't contacted them, but I've got their dates, and they only have two more this month, but they only have one in September. And it's a big one. The Argus is celebrating 160th anniversary. So
What
that'll be a
date?
good one.
What date is the Argus?
September 17th.
If we could get after that, then we could advertise our mixer at their mixer, because that's going to be a big one, and everybody will be there.
Yeah. The only thing is it's on a Thursday, and I am not going to be here on a Thursday the 24th. I got a trip to New York.
I'm not gonna be here either.
But-
Where is the one on the 17th? What address?
17th would be at the Argus. These are where people invite chamber.
South Point?
Yeah, across from the DMV.
Across the street from JT's.
They don't have anything posted for. They don't have anything posted for October. We can go for the first Thursday in October. If I have a date, I'll go to the chamber and
What-
Because we're, this is our,
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, it seems to me there was somebody
Member
that
meeting.
week that couldn't go, and that's why we had to put the members meeting the
That's right.
following week. So who's out of the, you're out.
that doesn't mean Chris would do it.
You could do the 24th without me, and the 24th is the right one. 'Cause then we could talk about the members meeting.
I'm out for that too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, then maybe we should shoot for the 1st of October.
There's a chamber business expos on the 1st.
Yeah, it is. It's, the expo's
See,
on the
it's
first.
like, it's right there, man.
It's usually on the next Thursday, but for some reason, not this time.
Is the 15th too late? I mean, we might even by the 15th have tickets to our event.
Yeah, although we talked about not really releasing tickets till December.
But we could talk about it.
We'll have
Yeah,
to-
we could do like a
Definitely.
chambers,
Can't start selling
Pre-sale.
tickets too early.
No.
But we could definitely
chamber
talk
pre-sale
about
would
it.
be nice, because that's,
You could say
That's-
you
that's
could
the
say coming
audience.
soon.
If
Yeah.
you have tickets to sell there, I would try to sell them.
But I would think November would be when we want to really start engaging. Mark's right. If you start selling things too soon, people
No, I'm saying sell
sell.
as soon as possible.
Oh, as soon as possible.
like a pre-sale for chamber members.
Yeah,
Early release, get them now before we go to the general public.
It's gonna be a hustle anyways. Why wait till the last minute?
Okay.
Okay,
I think we can take that to the
Yeah, let's
next Monday's
let's
meeting.
punt that to the steering committee. But would the 15th of October be workable for participants here?
yeah, I should be back by
You
then.
never know, Neil just gets up and Craigslist's his way across the continent.
I'm having a second child. You're just gonna have to forgive me.
If you could also check on the 22nd, then I have two choices. I'll go to that.
October 22?
Yeah, October 15 or 22.
Okay.
Pencil in those two as options, and I'll talk to the chamber. I'll go for the 15th.
October, what is this now?
Either the 15th or the 22nd.
It's called the Chamber Mixer, where we invite Petaluma to come to the office and have a drink and schmooze.
I thought you went to one with us one time. Didn't you go to Seared with us?
Look at it.
I don't think we saw them there.
Oh, no, that was you. You
Those
were
normally
was
start
me.
at what time, John?
6.
I'm going to this one Thursday. We have
I'm
a
trying
name
to
takes.
also.
It's right across the street from my house.
I know, I want to try that food. Have you tried it?
I was there, they're like first week they opened. I don't eat out very much.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
I love my own
what else?
cookies.
We got a Copperfields window for
Me too.
September. I tried to move it so we could really profit from build up for the fundraiser, but it
Not
got
gonna
booked through
happen.
2017. But we're gonna put up the, one of the panels from the Butter and Eggs Day Parade is gonna go into the window. And we will have a card, talking about the radio. We're really gonna push KPCA. We're talking about the logo for that, and,
Are you gonna plug your event also?
plug the event as best we can, but I think if we plug the radio and then get that into people's mind, and then we can attach the event to the radio that's already rolling. The radio is gonna get news, so.
We don't have enough definite information yet to actually start plugging the event. We don't have ticket costs, we don't have that kind of thing, so.
Yeah, but I
I
agree.
think we're holding out
KPCA is
for-
something we should start.
Yeah, this window's
The
gonna be
bug
for
we should start
KPCA.
planning and-
It's gonna be, big roll,
Yeah.
or at least the,
Maybe we should get stickers. Start plastering the town with stickers.
I want to get the MOU with the JC.
You've been
What
doing
does
like
MOU stand
the
for?
K-NAC.
Memorandum of
Memorandum of
Understanding.
Right,
Understanding.
it's
Oh,
like a
okay.
contract.
KMET.
We had one with
Contract with more words.
Casa Grande that set us up there.
Not really a contract,
Close
It's a
enough.
memorandum of,
it's not enforceable.
It's not?
With who?
I don't think an MOU is enforceable.
Most unions.
We have
most-
them, ours
yeah.
are,
Are they?
yeah.
Unions use them all the time.
Hmm.
talk to the police department about that.
Yeah.
And firefighters, they think that they would argue that a little bit.
Yeah.
So I got three more little items here. The 50 Fund Grant, which is tied to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I'm hampered there because I think our radio project is the main hook, and until I get the MOU, and if I had the curriculum, and when I can finally sit down with the EOC, those are the real two things that we can use. This radio will help the students and provide Petaluma with a much-needed emergency communications system.
They have 2 more application cycles though, don't they?
Yes, well, we're in the third of 4 at the end of this month. There's no
So
way I'm
we
gonna
have
get
one
that.
more.
The next one's in November. It's doable if things coalesce with the radio. Then I will jump on it. And we now have Rob, who I can bounce ideas with, and he can carry the ball when I'm juggling other stuff.
So there's an EOC meeting on the 15th, if you can get in touch with the fire department before that one, or even shortly before it.
September 15th?
October.
October 15th. That's a great day. That's great to know, thanks, Steve.
That's the annual test.
You'll see, so I contact the fire.
Jeff Shock. Jeff Shock. I can get you that information.
Please, send me that stuff, and I'll get myself there. That's a key factor. We have handbooks work. We've got the members handbook, the employee handbook, and the policies. We talked about revising the policies because we were talking about is it living wage? And actually, living wage would be something we would do in the employee handbook. We don't have any real employee information in the policies. The policies we would have to, if we get to the point where we have defined parameters for Facebook use, we could add that to our internet section in the policies. But for me, what's more important is getting the employee handbook up to speed. I went to a chamber lawyers lunch or something where they were talking about exactly that. How to your best defense in any employee problems is your employee handbook. And if you have a very good handbook that is up to date with the new California laws, it sends a message to the other person's lawyer who says, I don't want to take this on because I don't get paid unless I win, and these people know what they're doing. So I think that's the priority, is get the employee handbook up to speed.
And how are we gonna do that?
That's something I did basically with Brooke. I will work with Brooke. It means just going through, I put together drafts, I bring it back to you. And, we could do that in the policies and procedures, or we could do it here. But the last one was really done between Brooke and I brought it in.
We should probably fine tune that language around work at will.
Yeah.
You go to that
Where?
lawyer's thing that's Jay?
Jay.
Yeah.
Why don't you just have a lawyer write it up?
It's more
Very
expensive.
expensive.
Very expensive. I would like to have a lawyer vet it, and I do think I need to see a lawyer for the radio funding and a number of things. So yeah, run it by a lawyer.
He's
I've
doing
done
a
a
series
handbook
of,
at the office, and we did have an attorney put it together.
Yeah.
And I wanna say it was close to $5,000.
Yeah.
So it's very expensive. If you can get other handbooks and
Yeah.
Well, like a
Yeah,
Nolo Press.
There's gotta be
Like
something.
there's-
Nolo Press?
I'm sure
There's
you could get it
Canvas
done for
like Nolo.
1,000.
Nolo Press,
No
yeah.
reason to reinvent the wheel here.
No, and Brooke and I did it in a couple of months. It was like just started cutting and pasting and vetting the wording, and when I brought it to the board, and it was approved.
I mean, there's a series of those lawyer classes.
Yeah.
Are you gonna keep going?
I'd like to keep going. Yeah. He talks a lot. I didn't get a word in. There were a couple of questions at the end.
Oh.
But yeah, I got some good pointers. And then the other handbook is the members handbook. That's always been a back burner because our procedures are changing, the way we get in the studio, things like that. But now that we've got Stephanie, Nellie went through kind of collated all the different handbooks we have. So I've got a draft that I can vet when I get a minute. I'll work with Stephanie. And you know, that,
Maybe instead of you being stuck trying to have 25 balls in the air, maybe that's something that the Policies and Procedure Committee could work on.
yes, except it's really how we function. It's really for a member who comes in brand new and it says, okay, this is how you check out a camera. So those procedures have been evolving constantly. Now that we've got Stephanie, she's going to be the point person for cinching it up. But she's still getting her bearings straight. So three different handbooks, and I think the priority is the employee handbook. And then finally, the city renewal process reports. I delivered a letter of intention that we want to renew. Cindy signed it. I delivered it to Scott. We have the budget to approve on the agenda. And I sent you all out the report where I collapsed the two different reports into one. I'm still finding typos. Cindy and Tim have gone through it. And if anybody has any input on that. I did want to say that since you saw it, Cindy, I made a couple of additions. One of them came from our election mailing. Last year, at our date of record, we had 115 voting members. This year, we have 87. So we are dropping in membership. Got into your version, so you flagged it. One, it's a barometer of community interest in media. Do they need our cameras? But I think, we need to put some attention into getting new members in.
Yeah, we can't continue to take the approach of it's about checking out cameras and making TV. It's got to be, I think, more like the KQED, the KRCB. It's got to be support us.
Yeah, and we
for
have
these reasons.
We have a $30 support membership where you don't get to use
Exactly.
the equipment. I think that needs to be foregrounded and pushed, and maybe the fundraiser we should be selling. We should have it there. I was going to bring that to the next fundraiser.
Well, I said that, but somebody didn't want to sell memberships at the fundraiser.
Yeah.
How have we recruited in the past?
We do everything we can to be as visible as possible. When we're out on the street doing the parades, we have big PCAs. We made a big splash with the Little League summer. We sold a lot of DVDs, so we got into the program so people know about PCA. And if you ask 10 people in Petaluma, 8 of them are going to say it's a good thing. PCA is great, but that next step is we need you to support us.
The other thing is also DirecTV. It's satellite, and people don't get PCA anymore. So
That's probably half the community.
you think so?
And by judging by the number of Comcast and Uber subscribers at one point.
Yeah, you do see an awful lot of dish satellites in my neighborhood. I do.
Dish or
But
direct.
there's an interesting factor to that. We
Dish satellites or satellite dishes?
All we love. Porcelain
fish
dishes.
tacos or taco fishes.
Are we being a bit impertinent?
One interesting thing though on the other side of that, we've got AT&T. It's really hard to find us because you got to go 99 and you can't do the return.
It's not that hard once you learn it.
Okay. I've heard people.
Maybe we better do a demo.
It's
We'll
not
do
so
a
hard to
PSA
find
demo.
once you know it.
And
Yeah.
put it on Ubers?
Yeah.
So, and then the Comcast, I think we're great for Petaluma insomniacs. I think when you try to watch TV at 3 in the morning, you're going to end up on PC.
Or people just scrolling through, I don't know
But
how
I
you
did
wind
want to
up
say,
in-
we rolled out that on demand on the website. We've got over 100,000 hits of people watching our videos on YouTube.
So do
Really?
we put,
Yeah.
little
100,000
PCA logos on those things, kind of like they do with, on TV
Yeah,
stations?
we put the bug on.
Put the little bug, even
Well,
semi-transparent?
we don't do it on the members, we have a membership.
Yeah.
What do they want from me?
I don't have the breakdown of what it is, but we had a staff meeting and I asked that question and Thomas said over 100,000.
And subscribers too? Do you know how many subscribers?
I don't know, I don't have the details on that, but I was impressed because, it worked.
Have we ever done any sort of a speakers bureau, going to talk to different service clubs or different community
I
organizations?
did that a couple of times in the beginning, and I can do it again. We do it more
Does
now
it
with
bring-
schools to get kids in here.
Does it bring members?
the school does, reaching out to the students, because usually they're, in a class of 20, there's going to be 1 or 2 or 3 Livewires whose eyes light up and they come in and start using great cameras.
And SRJC,
And JC.
Media 20
The high school's a
classes.
little harder, but then Nick came through the high school. So, I flagged that in the report that we want to, boost our outreach publicity. And we've got, the radio and the fundraisers going to do that. So,
Was that the only change you made to the,
I put in another plug for the on-demand.
okay.
I didn't have the number, but I'm not going to go. The on-demand is just a
Okay.
new way to watch us, reach our community. And I'm still finding typos. I just circulated it through the staff, and they found 3 or 4 that we almost.
Did everybody else read it?
I haven't read it, but
Yeah, did you read it?
Which one?
The annual, report to the city.
Oh,
I read it.
Well, yeah, I read the,
Yeah, it looks like
yeah.
this. I thought it was really good.
So I'm not sure that,
It was like reading a story. It was interesting.
It's always been an adventure, PCA, for me.
I think he enjoys that one.
For me, it resets the clock and
It
it
flows.
gives me another
Yeah.
vision. And there was a transformation here. We were coasting on automatic pilot until the day Zach City's leaving. And then we kind of went into,
Panic.
yeah, it's not on automatic pilot. We just had to replace Will. So, the constant turnover has drawn a lot of attention. But I thought there was a lot of logic to making it one document. We were in our agreement period, and you remember those old director's reports I used to write? They're like stories, diaries. So for me,
And it was
it's
outside-
renewed my excitement about PCA.
And they were punctuated and used capital letters outside your
That's
normal
what the
comfort
J is.
zone.
I do the E Cummings style. It took me a while to figure out that
But,
J with the yellow.
yeah,
But I got it. It's a capital J.
it's actually.
Okay, that's it for my report.
Colon
That
dash
is,
parentheses.
okay. Any questions for John on his report? Thank you, John. That was good. No items on the consent calendar. We got reports of committees. The nominating committee met today.
yes,
Okay, do you want to report now, or do you want to just,
We can do it, I can do it now. You want?
okay, you're just gonna give us the summary of the meeting. Your recommendations will come in on item 11B, board nominee.
Well,
So,
if I give you the summary of the meeting, it tells you the whole thing.
that's why I was asking, do you just want to bump that to
Okay.
your
We met-
agenda?
We met to discuss.
We met to discuss.
Yeah,
who we
I'm
were
sure it
gonna-
was a really long,
It
painful
was.
meeting too.
It was.
Yeah. Okay. No other committees met, so let's jump to old business. Item 10A, discussion only of the signature fundraiser event.
That's just an item parked there for reports back. from the
Right,
committee,
my
but
name is
everybody-
on, my name's on there, and I don't really have anything to report.
Actually, it should be,
I don't keep the notes from the Monday meeting, so I don't.
who should have been that? Rachel's been doing that.
you're
Well,
right.
why don't you give the report on it, because it was primarily your budget we discussed.
oh, okay.
Okay,
Well, we discussed the budget, and it looks like this fundraiser can make some money, and we're trying to figure out, what we can put into the package to make it worth $65 and $95. And I had kind of loaded it up higher on the alcohol content, and some people did not think that was a good idea, and I have now backed off of that, and I think that, but we are going to have to start looking at other kind of bling that makes it worth our while. I'm thinking great desserts, great coffee, maybe some interesting soft drinks, and some champagne as well, and cash bar. But I think if we just shift some of that alcohol budget to food and bling, we'll figure out how to make the thing something we can all feel good that we've given a good deal to.
You raised your eyebrows at 65 and 95. What was that about? Is that a lot?
Well, I guess it depends on your attendance,
Yeah.
really.
I mean, it was nice to see somebody's reaction who heard it for the first time, so that's why I was asking.
Yeah, 65.
It's a lot. I mean, you've got to give some real value, and that's what we have to make sure we're doing. Either something that's commemorative that people, something that the people really want to keep, or some upgrading the food, or upgrading little party favors and things like that. I mean, it's got to be something that works.
It is a fundraiser, so
Right.
True.
that does make sense.
Emphasis
but
on radio. We gotta
I
get the
tend
town
to-
jacked about this radio.
I kind of tend towards accessibility versus the higher price though, but I'm not on the committee, so.
We'll
But it's
figure it
good
out.
to have an outside of the committee perspective.
What do those prices sound like to you? Like a typical fundraiser, right?
Yeah.
Depends on who you're able to market to,
Yeah.
really I think that's the key.
I mean, how much you charge and what you emphasize depends. That says who the crowd's going to be.
I think what
And not knowing who the market is, we have to sort of decide, well, what do we want to do, and keep our fingers crossed. I think.
Also what you get and what kind of an audience or how big of an audience you want to get.
Well, it's gonna be a black tie optional affair, so when people hear that, they think,
I don't have a
dress
tux.
up,
They'll think I don't have a tux.
rent one. Are you gonna
You
rent
know
one
what
for
it
the
costs to
event?
rent a tux nowadays?
How much?
More than the tickets.
He's right.
Yeah.
$300 for my son to be in a wedding a couple of weeks ago.
Holy mackerel.
That was Men's Warehouse.
That's a good
Okay.
point, and we gotta get discounts for text from us.
Okay, well, we're still
Yeah.
figuring this all out, so
Let's move it.
it's optional, black
Okay.
tie optional. There'll be some
That's the end of my
cruise ship
report.
type people that have the kind of clothing in their closet that will come like me. Okay, anything else? Kathy, do you want to add, oh, I know, we are working with the Mystic to try and get a contract to sign. Last Tuesday, Kathy and I had an interesting email exchange with Ken O'Donnell, and
This is
yes, you
friendly.
can. So, and I emailed him again today. I copied you on that, didn't I? And said, hi, we're waiting. So,
Did he seem receptive?
I didn't get a response. Oh, you mean, did he seem receptive to the idea? Oh, yeah, we're in. We've already met a couple of times with Natalia, who is
Non-responder.
our point of contact there. She's the, like, I guess, marketing person for the Mystic side, and, yeah, we've worked everything out. We just need it on paper now. So. And
So
we
is
can't
it-
have confetti, so don't ask for confetti at this event.
Is it still gonna be a
Rice.
gift?
We don't know that yet,
Yeah, we don't know that
Still
yet.
don't know
that's
that.
what I
until the
wanted.
contract actually comes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But those were things that we wanted basically to know what our wishes were.
Right.
So I sent, and Cindy sent, as many as we had available that we could remember, of which Natalia also
Yeah.
has the rest of what we talked about. So I think between all of that, he should be able to come up with some kind of a decent
But
contract.
we're in
The-
regardless.
Yeah, well, we're in regardless. The deciding factor on the waiving of the $1,000 rental fee was contingent on whether we ordered food or not. And so I think the budget called, you budgeted for like 95 trays of hors d'oeuvres.
Something like that.
Yeah, and that's nothing to,
Okay.
turn your eye.
Now I think we have to upgrade it a bit. So. I'm thinking crab cakes and lamb chops.
Yeah, we're gonna order a lot of food. We're gonna spend a lot of money there,
Yeah, we are.
so I think that it's very possible, Okay. Anything else on that? Okay, we can move to new business then. Item 11A, discussion and possible action on the fiscal year 15-16 budget. John?
Well, that was included with the email I sent out with the report.
Did you see it?
We had a finance committee meeting where we talked about it. It's morphed a little. I mean, for instance, I'm estimating PEG fees from AT&T at $13,000, and we just got 14. So I go back to this document quarterly to see where we are. The blue line, the actuals, that's the budget performance, the financial we don't have. That's the most interesting because I can see how I'm over or under. And there's always budget lines we don't touch. Also, I don't really have a sense of how much we're going to actually get from Tatati and Lone Park. It's our first year. So given that, I've worked out a budget that's reasonable and it's pretty healthy. I usually try to get it down to under 1,000 as balanced, but then we had a 37.5 thousand carryover last year, and I just shifted 25,000 into our reserve account, which is unrestricted. It's just a reserve, and that's now at 50,000. So we're doing healthy. Also, you know, if you looked at our budget, our balance sheet, we had 100,000, and that was without the PEG fees for the last 2 quarters. So the board approves this, I can deliver it to the city tomorrow with the report.
What's the raise, employee raise in this?
Yeah. What I do when I do a budget here is I'll do 6 months at this rate, 6 months at that rate, combine it, and that's the number you get here. And everybody is up to 15 starting now, and I've got raises built in, healthy ones. I want to reward the loyalty of the staff, which is something I developed in my report. In fact, there's some interesting, you should take a look at it. I'll give you a hard copy if that's easier. One other question, and I don't think we need to resolve it to, well, there's 2 things. You'll see at the end there's a lot of empty lines. We're working with Adds Up and Torkelson to figure out how we budget the radio. There's a lot of questions there. But more immediate is I'm concerned at how we're going to budget the fundraisers. I would think that any money we raise on the fundraiser could go into line 512, contributions unrestricted. Those are donations. We just feed it in there. We would take advertising out of this budget. We'll run the whole fundraiser through this budget. We don't need to set up a separate budget for that. Yeah. Okay.
Well, if the fundraiser is for the radio station, I thought we were going to keep separate.
Both Torkelson and Adds Up think that until we get set and started, and there's a legal question, can we use the PEG fees or not?
Yep.
We can loan money from the top down to the radio.
Okay.
That passed
Okay.
both.
All right.
Both tests.
A forgivable loan.
Yeah, forgivable loan, and because it's really, the license is in PCA's name, so it's our license.
Right.
So we don't have any there.
You
It's
know, I mean,
just.
if you agree that you can look at this expansively, the better.
Right, but I do believe we need to have 2 operating budgets.
Yeah, I want to know
Right.
how much the radio's eating up. We're probably going to
Exactly.
have to get staff.
We want to know if one is driving the other into the ground.
Yeah, I want to do that. And with Brooke is the one who suggested just creating it separate at the end. And I talked to Torkelson and they said, yeah, it's no problem. It's a wash if you loan down there because
Right.
your balance is the same.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but there are questions still to be worked out. The key one is, can we use PEG fees for the radio? And that's a legal decision, and probably a specific public access legal. I have to call the Busky Group or Horwood is back in Washington D.C. I want to get their reading on that.
I'd be happy to give you legal advice on this.
They should.
I'd be happy to.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Won't be worth much, but
Yeah.
And you can't take money because he's a board member.
and I'm not
Yeah.
a lawyer, so.
He's not a lawyer.
That's
Well,
never
they-
stopped anybody.
Petaluma as an anomaly. That's my defense. So motion? Or?
So moved.
Did everybody read it? I want to make sure everybody looked at this budget. Yeah, good. Is there a motion?
I move to accept the budget,
Budget or the report and the budget?
the report and the budget.
Well, actually,
You have to do both?
we determined that the report does not need to be approved.
Okay.
Before. So, you can if you want.
And this went through the finance committee. The finance committee did.
Yeah, it's
Thank you.
modified since we met, but we did need to look at it and talked over the terms that I just explained.
I knew that. I just wanted it on record. Okay. Okay, so there's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second. Oh, Neil can. Okay.
Okay.
That's all right.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Abstentions? We got a budget.
See you tomorrow.
Go, John.
Thank you, John.
You're
Good
welcome.
job.
What time are you swinging by?
Probably around 11, 12. Yeah. Tell me
For
when.
lunch.
What?
I got a meeting at 5.
How about at 5?
Where are we
I
going?
got a meeting at 5.
Swing by to look at the budget.
Okay,
5 o'clock. All right.
sweet. Okay, new business 11B is discussion of possible action on the Board of Directors nominee for the 2015 election.
Move it.
Wow, can we hear the recommendations from the nominating committee, please? A
The-
report on your meeting as well, if you'd like.
Point of order, Madam Chair.
The nominating committee has the recommendation to the board of Cindy Thomas. And
Move it.
Okay, is there any discussion?
That's it? You don't have any good ones?
that's it.
Oh my God.
I want to thank Cindy for doing. I'm in for another 3 years.
This is our last 3 years together.
I gotta make this.
I'm gonna travel the world after that. Like
Go
Neil.
on, post it on Craigslist, you can go with Neil.
We'll take turns driving. All
There you
right.
go.
Great.
So any discussion?
No.
Yeah.
Well, I could just say that we got our announcement into the Argus last week, and the postcards went out yesterday for, it's a bylaws requirement that the membership needs to be notified. If they want to get on the board by election for 3 years, they gotta have petitions signed. That's basically it. And it sets the date of record. So that's in the Argus. The membership's gonna get a postcard, and then we put up the ballots. Before Cindy had said she was in for 3 more, I had the staff do a little brainstorming, and Stephanie has found somebody up in Santa Rosa, a retiree who's got a lot of radio experience, and he's interested. So I think an appointment could be possible as well. So
Great.
came together quite well, right? Number one.
I second the motion.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? I'll abstain.
You could vote for yourself.
I know, but,
You think it's tacky.
no, you know what, I also
Approve yourself.
approve myself. Yeah, let's make it unanimous. Okay.
And that, just
You're
to note
good
that
enough, you're smart enough, and people really like you.
God, who paid you to say that? You know
How
what?
much?
I'm not smart enough because you know what I did? I forgot under our discussion of our fundraiser that I had found
No, that's the
something.
next item.
Well, is it?
No, I
This
guess-
doesn't really fall under agenda plan, but I found this paper because we had talked about how we ask people for money and how it makes some people uncomfortable. Well, there's other ways to get money from people without, doing the ask. Doing the ask is one of them. Do you want to look at this? You're probably not interested in it, but do you just want to see it?
Sure.
And it's not here to read now, but,
It's got
it-
holes punched for you.
yeah, it's a good read. It's a good read. It talks about doing the ask is not as much important as networking. And I've been saying this all along, and that's why I'm really happy we're with the Chamber of Commerce. I am attending chamber mixers when I can. It's good. The more we talk about ourselves, this talks about putting us on your Facebook page, sending an invite to all your friends to like the PCA page, just networking. So, you know, there's some good ideas in there. Read it. I hope you read it. And then if we feel like we need to discuss anything,
I'm
we can
walking home, I can't take it.
agendize. Well, I have the e-copy too.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, if we could email it,
I got a PDF. There was something else in there that I wanted to bring up. I don't remember what it is. I'm getting dementia now.
Poor dogs.
I don't know, I know. I'll be yelling at Clyde, Bonnie! No, Clyde, Bonnie.
Elf.
Which one's Bonnie? Okay.
Just don't call him John.
Yeah, exactly. Did you want to add anything more about this? I think you and I are the only ones that have read it so far.
No,
Yeah. And what made me think of it that I forgot to put it out is that when John was talking about Stephanie knows of a retiree, it talks a lot in here also about the type of person you're looking for to be on your board. That you just don't fill, you know, a chair with a warm body just because you need more bodies on a board. There's certain characteristics that you want to look for in a person before you just go inviting them to the board. So, yeah, that's
right? Do any of us have any of those characters?
No, that's why I'm bringing it up. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
So we have retreats. We retreat somewhere to talk about them
Yeah.
and try to get better at it.
That would be a good retreat thing, but anyway. The last item, 11C, discussion only on the process of agenda planning and minutes. And the reason this came up is a discussion that John and I were having, in that we come up with a lot of good ideas here, and we did it tonight, and we tend to like drift when we're talking about agenda items and think up these really neat things, and we never capture those. We don't have a place where we capture these things. And this is one of my complaints where I work. I do a lot of recording of meetings, and I see groups all the time losing good ideas. And so what I came up with on the minutes is a table at the bottom where when we come up with something like that, we note it, and then we put it in, I call it parking lot. It's a parking lot of ideas where we go through that, and we look at the parking lot at the end of every meeting, and we say, okay, do we need to put any of these on our next agenda? We can actually agenda plan at this meeting as we're leaving and say, okay, what is it on here that we need to go over? And I don't even remember what it was that we realized that.
it was really the chamber mixer.
Yeah,
It's
we
not
had
getting-
talked
it's
about,
not getting-
yeah, we had talked about we wanted a chamber mixer, and we never recorded that anywhere, and then all of a sudden, here we are, it's almost September, and we had that discussion months ago, so.
And then you got on your rant.
Well, I would say it does get recorded in the minutes, but the minutes are kind of a dense format. that
Right, we
we've
look in the
been there
minutes
we've
and
done
stick it in a binder.
Having it separated out as a to-do
Yeah.
list is useful.
Yeah, so, what does everybody think about that, having
And
a,
John should start taking better minutes.
who?
I don't take minutes.
Well, that was the other thing, is that he,
Nope,
John
notebook
doesn't-
minutes.
Oh, yeah, I take
Keep
notes.
the ideas.
Yeah, no, I got them all. I print out 2 copies of the agenda, one that I want to keep and the other I follow.
No, but this way we can say, you know, if we're like straying from the
Parking
agenda
lot.
item, we just go, hey, well, okay, that's a good idea, can we put that on the parking lot? Marcia can just have her little notes of parking lot, and we'll put them on the parking lot. I mean, we could try it. We can try it. It
Basically,
does.
that's a legitimate request of the chair to the director to make that
You think
happen.
so?
I
Make that
agree.
happen.
What?
I agree.
Why?
No, I said, to,
The chair, you could recommend that I do it, but I think it can be factored into the process of the
No,
minutes.
it's.
no, I don't mean that you personally, but figure out we don't have to actually act on this, do we?
No, but it's something that's gonna
It
change.
makes a lot of sense.
It's
Not- not
our
to lose
meeting,
good ideas.
yeah, it's gonna change our meeting, it's gonna mean we're gonna have to take like a couple of minutes at the end of each meeting to go over our parking lot items and figure out what, if any of those need to be put on the next agenda, or 6 months out,
Yes,
or
so-
cross them off because we're no longer
I'll
interested.
offer one suggestion.
What?
As the staff liaison at the technology committee, I take notes throughout the thing and then circle them and put them, and there's actually an agenda item that says future agenda planning. And then I recycle all those things and we talk about whether we want to put it on the agenda or not. We drop ongoing items, add more. In addition, if anybody
So you keep it where,
else,
on a list, your own personal list?
well, I write on the agenda like John does. And
Right, but then
and
how does it not get lost?
we revisit it at the end and it actually becomes part of the meeting,
So
of the last
Like-
item.
Well,
He's
that's like what
suggesting-
Cindy's seeing, I think.
suggesting adding another number.
It's an agenda
to
item,
the-
Right,
Number
There.
14 would be,
Right there.
Right.
Agenda planning, future agenda planning.
Sounds like
Okay.
a good idea.
so we added.
So we gather up all the ideas at the end of the meeting
Right,
and
but
put them on,
we're-
and put them in the future agenda.
so where do
Yeah.
we bank this list of stuff?
On the agenda.
Everybody banks them as we go through that meeting.
But it could be from.
I know, but what if it's something that's gonna need follow-up 6 months later and not the next meeting?
Then you put it in the parking lot.
We need a nap.
Okay,
so
that's
where-
what I'm saying.
Where are you gonna put the parking?
On your desk.
Just put a little grid, a little table down
On the
there.
minutes, she wants to put it on the
Yeah, you
minutes.
got a little grid, and here's the
Okay.
topic, and
So
here's
so
when you
then,
wanna
so
follow
then
it
is that
up.
an ongoing list, or do we?
Yeah,
or
it's
is
an
it
ongoing
shelved?
list. I mean, it's so that we don't lose anything. Like, if we're talking about right now, we wanna have a spring garage sale where we're gonna do things. Well, we're not gonna put it on the next agenda, we're gonna put it closer
It
to
would be in
spring.
the parking lot.
Yeah, it would be in the parking lot, it'd be closer
Where
to
is the
spring.
parking- Is the parking lot in a
Parking
computer
lot shows
someplace?
up on every
It would
Parking
agenda.
No, I
always be
meant
on
to
the
bring,
minutes
I meant to
every-
bring an
every
example
month it
of
would
one
be
of
on the
mine.
With projects
minutes.
too. It's the
Yeah, at the
parking lot's
bottom
just
of the
a
minutes.
list that has no start dates.
But
So
that
then
shows
we-
up on every agenda, correct?
But, well,
We
that's what
bring
we're
it
talking
up.
about here.
Everybody'd
your
have to
case-
bring their minutes to the meeting,
No.
right?
They
If
get
it
a-
were on the minutes. And everybody would have to look at it and say, okay, I wanna add this to the
Yeah,
agenda, or I wanna add that
exactly.
to the agenda.
And that's exactly how I do it. It's on the minutes, but I use a minutes template where it's always there. I don't know how you
just
do your
add
minutes.
to it.
I just do a save as of the last month's minutes, and then I just start, that's
Well,
how I do
actually, I
things.
do
don't know how
I
you
do it from the agenda.
Do you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I take the
same thing.
agenda and I just change the heading and I put in
There you go.
the minutes.
Yeah.
So,
And then just add the table of,
yeah, so it
Sounds
could
like a
be on the
wonderful
agenda.
I think
Do
it's
we have to act on it?
okay.
No. it's a
No, we don't
discussion
have to
only
act
item.
on it. It just was an idea that I wanted to run past you,
And that
because
can
then
be just done.
we can work that out with Marcia, who's the secretary.
We can do it.
But,
Move adjournment.
okay. All right. See ya.
Unless anybody has anything more to say.
No, that's it.
I think it's a good idea.
I'm just,
Yeah,
we're gonna try it. Okay.
I think we can do it.
All right.
The
And,
secretary's okay with it.
I'm
Okay.
okay with it.
all right. Motion to adjourn?
You got one.
Yeah. Second? Anyone opposed? Goodbye. Thanks for being here.
Not closed
Good night,
session.
Meeting
everyone.
adjourned.
Right.